Okay, and we'll do a quick roll call. Chair Newman.
Here.
Vice Chair Lind.
Here.
Board Member Spears.
Here.
Board Member Cody.
Present.
And noting for the record that Board Member Meister is absent today. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. We have a space for public input. I don't know, we did have a member of the public who was here before, who may rejoin us. But seeing as he is not here right now, we can move on to the special agenda items, beginning with the Secretary's report.
Okay. Thanks, and welcome all back to Fairview Branch Library. We've got our staff here who will be doing an update specifically later on in the agenda on the Fairview Branch. But I just have some updates here. So citywide, August 5th, Santa Monica participated in SMPD's National Night Out. This year's theme, Santa Monica All-Stars, brought the community together for a sports-inspired evening of fun, food, and connection. And so generally the library will go to many of these outreach events and specifically make sure that we're there for an event like National Night Out. Under library, our community mapping initiative continues, and actually it says here we have nearly 600 responses, but we actually have about 770 at this point, hoping we get to and surpass 1,000, if not more. We're monitoring those every week to see how often, and it does seem that after we have conversations, it goes up a little bit, and we just had a conversation last Tuesday, or this past Tuesday, at Montana Branch, in which Susan was there as well as Daniel. It was facilitated by Cecile, our communications and marketing coordinator, and then also supported by Bobby, right, who was taking the notes. We had a good 10 to 12 members of the community, many of whom they walked to Montana, or they've been going to Montana for years. And so I welcomed folks and stayed for about half of it. But it seemed to be, people really like that they could come together and talk about the library, as well as talk about what matters to them. So we will have 2 more planned community conversations in September, and in September, which will be at Pico and at Maine, we'll be bringing back our graphic recorder, Elise, to record those sessions. But in between now and then, our staff is hard at work in identifying and coordinating focus groups, which also, similar to community conversations, they'll just be working with smaller groups or representatives of different groups to help kind of delve into certain areas of interest. So, for example, seniors and older adults, they're going to reach out to different organizations and get a representative group, or youth, parents, adult learners. So staff have identified different areas, knowing that we have, still to balance our capacity and what we're doing, for library operations. They are also trying to reach out to do these conversations. I think for us and the group, we had said that we would like to maybe get representatives from different neighborhood groups and see if they want to come and do a community conversation together. And so I'm still open to doing that. And perhaps, I'm not sure that it hasn't been agendized, but if we wanted to work on that, or maybe even have just a subgroup or one person, work with me on it, or we can also talk about it in September, since we're going to be doing these focus groups through the end of September, beginning of October. So, but I think it's again a really great way, in addition to our in addition to our surveys and our interactive boards, to really delve in and get some deeper information about what our community is thinking and what their needs are. And then on the second page, there's the beautiful graphics of the community mapping and the conversations that we did, so that you can take a look at them. And they're hanging in our admin conference room as well. So hopefully some of these graphics will become part of our report when we, develop a report back to the community once we gather and analyze information. An exciting thing that's happening in September, community discount program. So our staff really wanted to partner with local businesses, and in celebration of Library Card Sign-Up Month, local businesses signed up and said they wanted to help by giving a discount if somebody showed their library card. So we'll put together the list. There's still, businesses coming in. We've got about 20 right now, which is great. They're varying different types of discounts, but before the end of this month, we'll be able to share that list, and library card holders will be able to show their card at participating businesses to receive exclusive discounts. Confirmed businesses include My Coffee, Broad Stage, Kodo Imports, Dr. Tea House, Fit for Mom, Santa Monica, Good Body Pilates, Illusion Magic Lounge, Junior Cookies, the History Museum, Shake Shack, Solidarity. So a lot of local businesses wanting to participate, which is great, and great for us because then we'll hopefully get more people signing up to get their library card.
All right, can we ask questions on these?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, sure.
Well, the first one I was going to ask about the community mapping. I can add that to something to the neighborhood groups that I'm reaching out to, so I'll do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. And so maybe what I will need to do is maybe I can just pick a date, and then that will be like if they want to come to.
Yeah, should I see? Yeah, I'll see if they have interest.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we'll pick a date, likely probably closer to later in September, so that people have time to
be
plan.
aware of it. And then on this one, if we know of businesses that are interested in the discount program, is there somewhere we can refer them to?
Yes, so there is a form, and I can get that, but you can actually maybe send it to myself or Daniel, and we'll make sure that, because Cecile, who is our communications and marketing coordinator, has been handling it, but she'll be on leave for a bit, so just one of us, and then they just have to fill out the form. Okay. And then we'll add them to the list. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I don't know, but I don't think I have the link. Do you have the link to the form?
But I can
Yeah, and we can also send you the link to the form.
Oh yeah, sure. It's an exciting program.
Yeah.
Is this the first time?
Yes. Yeah. It was born out of an idea that one of the staff had. So, yeah, it was great that we were able to make it happen in time for Library Card Time. State of the City, so that actually was July 17th, and it was great. It was a different energy. We were at Reed Park. It was the opening of the reopening of the Miles Playhouse. As you can see, we had new pop-up tents, which looked great, and a lot of folks just walked in and were just happy to connect with one another. That's what I was hearing as I walked through the different tents, and people being like, "Oh, it's great to see you here." And so I think the community part of it was wonderful and amazing. And then the State of the City part, really, it was a celebration, acknowledgement, way less of a presentation than in past years. But in the Miles Playhouse, they did have boards of different goals that were reached, and areas and highlights from the different departments, which was good, which was nice as well. So I thought it was overall really nice. Everybody was like, we should do this again. Obviously, it took a lot of time and effort, but I think especially celebrating the 150th, they wanted to do something different and special this year. And man, the 4th of July parade seems like it was ages ago. But 4th of July, which was in the beginning of July, Thank you to Daniel and to also Judith, as well as our team members, Robert and Susan and Cecilia, who marched in the parade. That was fun. It was a lot of fun. And so many people out.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Love it.
Yeah. So,
You did love it. You loved it.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, and people, they cheered for the library.
It's
Yeah.
easy to be a hype
Every
man
time
for a
when
librarian.
when we put up the sign, they'd be like, library, yeah. So it's great. A lot of great programs happening. We had Campfire Tales, the Craft and Learn to Spin Yarn, which was what I hear really popular. More than 40 people participated. And our research and local history. I'm sure Susan may talk more about it, but we, as we celebrate our 150th anniversary, getting ready some of the information and also making sure that people know about the Santa Monica collection room and the different specialized materials that we have, as well as our digital archives. So future events will be distributing this to help folks know what we have, as well as, and there is so much, right? And under our special digital collections,
It's a little too much.
we've got so many
Which is
different
great.
collections,
Yeah.
and
We're,
it's just,
we're highlighting a new collection. It's Mexican-American presence in Santa Monica, which is way overdue. A group has come together, 3 long-term residents or people who grew up here. They recognize that their children just don't care about the history of the community. So they have banded together. They're reaching out to community members with photos, documents, stories, and recording them, and they're scanning photos, family photos, sending them to us. Robert's been really busy adding those to this very new collection. So, I mean, it's very exciting, and there'll be a program on
right.
September 20th, introducing the members of this coalition and sharing a lot of the images and historical stories. And then another collection, the Quinn, the QRC collection. Bill and Carolyn are well known, but I think it's important for us to highlight their contribution to the city's history by sharing photos and stories of Black members of our community. We've been working hard on this.
Yeah, it's an excellent
So came
representation.
back, and people at the desk at the Pico branch folded these off. The first 100, yeah. Thank you very much. Appreciate that help.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Everybody pitches.
yeah. So I think you'll
Yeah.
see more, and particularly this year, but with 150th, with 20 years, main library turning 20, just in terms of the stories and local history resources, you'll see more of that come up and highlighted as we continue through the year. And then just finally, our citizenship classes, we partner with the Adult Center, and I think it's good to know about this because it just in terms of certain comments or understanding that have been heard from the council about whether or not we partner with organizations and what we can do for our community in terms of equity. This is definitely one of them, one of many when we talk about our literacy program, but for this one in citizenship classes, it's really giving space for the Adult Center to come and do these classes, and we often, the librarians are invited and celebrated as good partners for the Adult Center and programs like these because, again, we help folks in the community to feel empowered and to fully participate in civic life. And so classes like these that are extremely important to our community. And know that if anybody asks, like, yes, the library does do these classes along with a lot of other classes around literacy and education around community awareness and citizenship and being part of civic life. Friends of the Library, we just had the program yesterday, and it was 3 wonderful authors, Carolyn Heron, Mansi Shah, and Suzanne Park, and we did it in the cafe space, and it was such a great vibe. It was very intimate, probably over 25 people. We kept needing to bring in chairs because we weren't sure how many people were coming. People kept coming, and it was wonderful, and I hope that the Friends will be doing more of these types of programs as well as others in the cafe space, and we're hopefully talking about sprucing it up temporarily, even though we don't have the funds for fully redoing the cafe space yet. Time to spruce it up so that it just doesn't stay the empty space that it is. Thanks to the Friends. I think everywhere and all the partners and folks that we work with, they're all super excited when it comes to community mapping and programming and going into this year with lots and lots of ideas.
Wonderful. Thank you. So our next item is a report about this is the ALA United for Libraries Conference. I attended some of the sessions. I would be curious to have heard what Judith's impressions were, but I can share some of what I learned. The main focus seemed to be on fundraising and geared more towards foundations and friends organizations and things like that. So a lot of it was, how to fundraise, which I feel is a little outside the scope, obviously, of this board. But there was some sort of general information, Robert's Rule of Order, and how to have the most productive board and so forth. So I listened to those presentations. Something that was interesting, and some of it, there's certainly an overlap. There's a lot of talk about how to tell a story and how to engage when we're out there advocating on behalf of the library, whether it be for fundraising or just general raising awareness. Having a story and having a narrative about the library and encouraging people's connection to the library and to the community, that was really emphasized, and I think that really resonated. On the funding, I know we're going to talk a little bit about Pasadena, but I was interested to hear that there was someone from the city of Santa Barbara, and I guess what they did, this was something that their city council was involved with, and it was not just for the library, it was also for other departments, but the library was a very important part of it, and it was a sales tax increase. The thing that we face is Santa Monica has one of the highest sales tax rates, I think, in California already, the highest. So it's probably not, an option for us to go.
10.5, I think.
10 and 3/4. Yeah.
Oh, so it went up even more.
Yeah, exactly. So this is probably not an option, but, I just found it was interesting, and they did a very good job of sort of folding into other uses, which included public safety and housing, but it was a big emphasis on the library and restoring and expanding library hours, hiring more staff, security. So, perhaps there's some lessons there just in terms of how they framed it, even though, obviously a sales tax initiative is probably not an option.
Did they say something about like parking meters and stuff like that? Other initiatives instead?
No.
I was curious.
Yeah. So that was interesting. I wasn't aware of that, but let me see if there's anything else. But a lot of it again was just effective fundraising and pointing out the different ways that different libraries, because this was a national conference, so obviously there's just a very wide range of ways that libraries receive their funding, which was interesting to me. I mean, we're in the position, we're basically like municipal appropriation plus what we get from the Friends, right? And that's our universe. some other libraries, it seemed like it really ran the gamut, from property taxes, state grants, state, federal, local programs, and then private donations and requests. Like some libraries are in a position where they can go out and directly solicit funds, which is not something that we do, or, the Friends can do, right, as a 501c3. So that was interesting, just to understand, the different ways that things are set up and what our parameters are. So that was my impression of the conference. I found it was interesting.
And this was all virtual, right?
Yeah, it was
Was
online.
it well attended?
Yeah, I don't know. It was hard to, it was all, you didn't see others.
Oh, you just
It was just like web presentations, yeah. But again, a lot about fundraising. I'm not sure if anyone from the Friends participated, but there was a lot of great information about fundraising. So hopefully they did, and because that was some valuable information. So that's my report on the conference.
And our old former director, did you get a chance to see her speak?
No.
Maria?
No.
Did she speak that much at the conference, Maria Carpenter?
The United for Library?
Oh, this is not AOI.
No, it's United for
Yeah,
Library.
this is international.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so our next item is the consent calendar. And we have the minutes from the July meeting up for approval. Everyone had a chance to take a look at those, and I would welcome a motion to approve them if there are no comments
So
or
moved.
questions.
Second.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the minutes for the July 10th, 2025 meeting. Motion by Board Member Cody and seconded by Vice Chair Lynn. And now we'll do a roll call vote. Chair Newman,
Yes.
Vice Chair Lynn,
Yes.
Member Cody,
Yes.
and Member Spears.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes 4-0.
Thank you. Okay, our member of the community has not returned, so we're going to move on to our staff administrative items, which will be a Fairview Branch update from Susan Lamb and Vanessa Alvarado.
Great, thanks. So I am Susan Lamb. Sitting to my left is Vanessa Alvarado. And this is a great chance for you to meet Vanessa. Vanessa had worked, were you in high school when you were a page here?
A college student.
A college student.
Back in 2001.
She's worked here a long time, over a long period of time, and contributed so much. And it's great. Vanessa left for a while. She was working with a nonprofit, right? And we interviewed Vanessa for to replace Robert's position, but we also were mindful that Nancy is retiring and moving. She can't wait to get to the Chicago snow. Go figure. Go Nancy. Anyway, so we met with Vanessa. She applied for the position. We just think she has tremendous characteristics and experience to meet our needs to manage our literacy program, which is almost entirely grant funded. She has a lot of experience reporting. She has accounting experience. She has librarian experience. She lives in this area.
Yes.
She's a hometown person. And would you like to say anything else about you?
Thank you, Susan. Yes, born and raised in Santa Monica, went through the school system, was a frequent patron or user of the library, and that's how I got the idea to work there. Actually, somebody was like, "Hey, you're here all the time. Why don't you get a job here?" I'm like, "You know what? You're right. I'm not going to get a job here." So I started in periodicals as a page, loved that, and then moved into library assistant at Main Library, and that worked out really well. I had a chance to open up the Pico Branch Library. I can't believe it's been 10 years that it's been open. Last year, 10 years. That was really wonderful. I finished library school and then got the opportunity to work as a youth services librarian there. Story time, worked with the community, loved that. So I'm really happy to be back at the library and work at all the branches.
Yeah, she's very excited. We have to take care of her. We need her to last the distance here. But her skills and experience are a great match for our branches, and she's known in the community. And I'm so excited. So one thing we're doing, we're going to give you a little bit of information about what happened last year at the Fairview branch, and then we're also going to talk about the literacy programs and some real successes that we've had with that. So I realize the statistics, the numbers of people that come in here, they're not going to blow you away, but we're only open 2 days a week. So
And that's for self-service?
this is a self-serve location, yeah. So we're looking at alternatives to manage that or make changes to that, we hope. So you see the numbers, but our total number of visitors last year was 9,700. That's not terrible. And card registration, there should be none because we're not really staffed to do that kind of stuff here, but the staff want to help the people who come in and make sure they can use the library and the resources, so they do that. We have pretty good circulation holds. We've had a lot of events for youth, not so many for adults, but that's okay.
Those still occur even though it's not like a full-service branch. You guys can still have events there.
Yes, we've had quite a few. I've got a sheet with stuff about that. So some of the big things that have been happening for us are Tuesday Tales, the story times. The caregivers and the moms, they want story times, and they want them for selfish reasons sometimes. They want a chance to be with other caregivers because they feel trapped at home, they've commented, and it's a way for their children to get out and interact with other children, and they all look forward to these story times. So we're fortunate in the Storytime rotation called Tuesday Tales. Fairview gets 1 month, one Tuesday a month. So that's great. We also we had 6 class visits, even though we're not technically open in a way a school might think of. We had 5 visits from Will Rogers classes. We had the Growing Place come by. Sometimes they stop in. Sometimes they make an appointment to come, and we read stories to them. We explain how the library works, what they need to be able to check things out. So that's a real positive. At Fairview, every year we have the Christmas Book Fair. Has anybody been to that besides Erica? You've been to that. Well, we need a lot. Is anybody like a powerhouse gift wrapper? Okay.
I can make it look like a really bad origami thing.
Well, that's not
I
bad.
worked retail. I can run a box.
We're going to need a lot of. This will be the 3rd year we've done this. It's so popular.
Hundreds of
We're open
families
from
and
like
kids.
4 to 6:30. It's set up like a bookstore book fair by subject, genre, age group. The children can come in and shop for books. They're all beautiful, brand new books that have been donated or come to us somehow. That the children may select 5, and we will wrap them for them to give to friends, family for the holidays. And the dads really like this service. When the minute they hear it's happening, they show up. So we're looking forward to that. That's going to be on December 2nd this year.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. It's come by. I mean, it's just fun. We have food. It's very exciting. But we need more wrappers.
Yeah, you learn to be a quick wrapper.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be perfect wrapping. And this summer, well, and then some other things we've tried out. We've connected with the small business. It's out of El Camino College. It's a nonprofit that I think they're still struggling a little bit because of cuts to nonprofits and how they're being supported. But last year here at Fairview, we hosted 2 programs with them that were very popular. One was how to become a vendor in the city, which is important to know. It's not easy to know how to do that. And then we had a program in early June here about how to fund your small business. So we're trying to support the people interested in starting small businesses and help them succeed and find out what else they need to know. We also
That partnership happened because Economic Development had the connection with Small Business Development Center, and they were looking for satellite on the west side or just some place where they could try out certain programs, and so they looked at our library, so we thought that we would try some out here. And particularly because they do get, economic development gets a lot of questions about, the procurement process, all that stuff, because it's a little complicated here in the city, so we thought that was a good way to partner and hopefully help with the local economic development.
and another exciting thing that ends tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Vanessa, why don't you talk about this one?
It's the Summer Camp Recreation program that's been happening with partnership with Recreation and Arts Department that ran for 6 weeks. So tomorrow is our last day, and Fairview was happy to host the program. It's been pretty popular with chess. We have a lot of registration for that, about 20 students in each class. They also had robotics, magic, Legos, and a mock trial camp. So that was held here, and then we provided this cart here with books that have materials that are related to their topic, and be able to come in and tell them about the library summer reading program, some of the parents about the mapping, community mapping that's ongoing right now, and issue library cards, and they had the opportunity to use the library while they were here.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll look at how to make that smooth and be able maybe to support that in the future. Yeah, that's been a lot of fun, and it has enlivened the library to have little kids between 6 and 12 every day here. Their energy is amazing, and they're so thrilled to be here.
Yeah.
This one little boy would not leave until his mom got him his own library card. So,
They kind of get their own library here too, like being able to do that and have
yeah.
access to it.
So, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We've enjoyed that. And then,
Can I also mention
yeah.
one thing, Susan, just with the visitors and what we were saying about the number of visitors and hours, like looking at that number, but if you break it down in terms of average, it's 90 to 100 people a day coming as, even though it's just self-service, that's around the average. Obviously there are ebbs and flows, but that it's really well used for a library that's only doing the self-service.
It seems like the events are really well attended too. There's only 23, but you have 1,000 people.
1,000 people.
yeah.
It's a lot of people per event.
Yeah.
Yep.
People are looking for experiences. So, the outlook's bright. We're hoping for more days maybe, or we're looking at ways to provide more access to the self-service locations. But there are people actually who prefer that because they get a library all to themselves for the most part. One of the moms came in with her little one who was in the magic summer camp, and she asked if she could stay. I said sure, and she got a lot of work done over in the adult area. All the classes have been like 4-hour increments, so it was great. She was nearby for her little one, and she got to work. So.
And that's the other big change too, is that once you get a library card now, you're automatically enrolled into getting self-service.
Oh, cool.
Whereas before you used to have to do a separate application. Yeah, so now you automatically get it.
User-friendly.
Yeah.
And so I think that also is, as more folks are finding that out, like as long as you're in good standing, then you can access either one and not have to worry about applying.
Yeah, hopefully, that's the intent of that. So hopefully that will make a difference. Yeah.
What exactly is good standing again? Turning your books in on time?
So making sure that, yeah, you're not, so reasons for blocking cards, right? As long as you return your materials are fine, right? There's no fines, but you have to return the materials. So if you don't return it for a long time, then you are owed certain fees. Or if you have misbehaved and have not followed the rules and have had your library card suspended, that is not in good standing. And so those are the folks that would not be able to access the self-service at this time.
I think we worked hard through the years to provide free renewals, all of these things that help prevent people from having to pay money. Which means they'll come back. If they're blocked, they're not going to come in if they don't have the money. So, yeah.
On the self-service system, besides the new card members getting that automatically, do people that have already library cards now also get that service, or do they have to register?
No.
No.
They don't have to register anymore. They already have it.
Yeah. It's going through waves. I don't think we've hit everybody yet.
Yeah,
It's
I think eventually that is the plan.
everybody will receive notices that they have automatic access. They'll just need their card number and PIN to get in. Yeah. So it's good. So the program that I think we'd really like to talk about a lot is the LEAF program. That is our literacy program that's funded through the California State Library. CLLS is the body. And we added, it's an extremely successful program. It doesn't hit millions of people or thousands of people, but the people it impacts, it changes their lives. They get jobs, they get into school, amazing things happen for them. So some of the components are, we added an ESL program this year. It's very popular. We have an ESL tutor training going on right now that because we don't have enough tutors to work with the people who are asking to be paired up with a tutor to improve their English, to help them in some way in their life. So that's going on right now. I think we have 3 people queued up right now, Vanessa, for Career Online High School. So that's a program where it's free. They get to use a laptop. They get support from the organization who oversees this program, but we provide a lot of support and help too. So they get an actual high school degree. They work for 2 years online, and they have a high school diploma when they're done. And frankly, it's much easier than the equivalent kind of thing that people go for.
Didn't they have the graduation here last year?
Yeah, one every year.
We have one in December at Main Library. It's going to be on December 12th, or 10th, this year. And we'll invite all of you. It's amazing. It's very heartwarming. It's very impactful. So we like that a lot. We have, so we're going to be starting ESL conversation classes, which people have been asking for. So that's set up and structured. We'll be doing that. You want to comment on some of the other?
Right. You mentioned the ESL conversation. The training is ongoing right now. So we have 2 conversation programs, one happening at Main Library. Will start August 26th, and then the second one over at Pico on August 27th. Sorry, excuse me, I think I said September, but it was August 26th for the first ESL conversation class. Career Online is going strong with 2 students or 2 learners who are halfway there, and one was returning student, so that was great to hear that they came back. We've paired ESL with a tutor, ESL learner with a tutor. That'll be meeting here on Fridays at Fairview. And Susan mentioned the citizenship classes that are coming up, and our very popular Tech and Task program that's happening at Main and Pico Branch Library. So it's a drop-in program, and people come in with their technical questions, and they get assistance in English and Spanish. So it's super popular. They come in, they do an intake and see what they need assistance with. Our volunteers are super great and help them out with their tasks.
Yeah, we offer 2 a week now. We started with just one class every Thursday at the main library. And I'd say we're seeing, today was small, it was like 13 people. Usually it's like 16 to 20 people. It's very busy. It's a 2-hour learning period or access period that people have. But we're offering one in the annex by Pico now, because we heard from the Spanish-speaking community that, hey, our parents aren't very good with their phones, and they need to, and the kids don't want to help their parents with that stuff. Not so much. They're not as patient as strangers are with the questions and challenges that the older community members are facing. And that just keeps growing and growing, and that started, I forget how many weeks ago, a couple months ago.
A couple months ago,
So
and
that's
transitioned to Pico, and we have laptops, but some of them bring their own, they bring their own devices, and we let them drive like steers, so just they're coached to do it so they can gain those skills to dominate that technology.
Has anyone asked about ChatGPT, like AI stuff in the tech?
Well, there are very vague general questions about that at this
some of them
point.
have very
The
specific.
group we're serving through Tech and Tasks aren't quite at that point in their learning curve. I mean,
Oh,
I
that's
think
interesting.
we're hoping to learn a lot more about that too.
Yeah,
I'll mention that.
I just,
Do you use
I
that
just
a lot,
learned more from
Antonio?
my,
Every day.
I just learned more from my teen in terms of
Yeah.
putting together, like, how she puts together, like, study guides, like, more like that stuff.
I think it's like a really
pretty
huge thing that you
useful.
guys should, it would save you all so much time.
Well, you know how we are using it with literacy is that the tutors going through training, creating like learning lessons
guides.
and creating lesson plans for the students.
Yeah.
They're using it for that. So Tara and Andrea, who are primarily responsible for training the tutors, they're working with them with that. There's a special program through the state that offers some support with learning about that. So, yeah, if you're
Does the library
keeping-
offer any tutoring programs regarding AI? I think that would be huge.
That would be,
not yet.
That is so
they-
interesting now that you're
Yeah,
talking about it.
yeah. It would
it's
be
another
huge.
literacy, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think that's going to be so important.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
the high schools are focused on
Right.
that and how to help the students and make sure the
What
students are
tools.
using it
Yeah.
for the best effect and
Yeah.
to get
I
good.
wonder if it's also a way to get one of these companies to offer something free for the libraries.
Tech thing specifically just for AI,
Yeah.
something like that somewhere in the city.
Yeah.
One of these companies.
That's interesting.
Is there any AI companies in Santa Monica?
Yeah.
I don't think none of them are based here now. They're,
Because that is a fast, growing market. Learning how to utilize that. Even when I go to the movies or restaurants, it's like research. What should I know before this movie or this restaurant, or just research and development for certain brands and stuff like that. It's grown tremendously.
It's a huge tool, there's no doubt, but on the flip side,
You're in publishing.
yeah. The largest class action lawsuit, the Anthropic, and I think that's news.
yeah.
I just sent out a notice to all my clients today, actually, because there's a big class action, and they can basically upload their information about their book, because there's probably going to be a settlement. Hopefully there's going to be a settlement. The companies are all, saying, we're not going to afford, this.
They came out and said fair use, we can steal all your shit and there's nothing you can do about it.
There's one
The
lawsuit.
fair
That's what my
use,
Disney
yeah,
did.
there's two aspects of it, and
Yeah.
and there's one aspect where they're not protected. So, it's a real concern for people that are creating the content, obviously. But then writers are using it as well as a tool,
Yes.
research, and, initial ideas, cover suggestions, title suggestions. Publishers are using it in their marketing, PR departments and elsewhere. So it's two sides of the coin. It's a very useful tool, but then it's also, people that create content obviously have legitimate concerns.
I think the interesting thing here, like to what you're saying with these populations, is that you can speak to it in any language, and then it can output in whatever language you want. So it's like almost like a translator in some senses too. So there's like a lot of tools.
It reminds me of the infancy of the internet.
Mm-hmm.
You
That's
know?
what it is. We're in those
It's
early
just,
days.
it's
That's what
this
it is.
raw, nobody knows where it's going to end up or how it's going to work, but it's going to become a part of our daily
Right.
lives. No
Well,
doubt
it's like the
about
beginning
it.
of social media.
Yeah.
Except like right now, there's zero regulation. Like,
Unless
you know,
unless we run out of
regulation.
electricity.
Yes, you what?
Unless we run out of
Yeah.
electricity.
It's very
There's that
Yeah.
It's
environmental
very-
issue. Yeah, the
it's
amount of
very
power
power.
that it takes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. LA has some kind of giant. They have some area where they have it filled with. What am I trying to say?
Like servers or something?
Well, they're solar panels where they're
Oh.
able to create and probably make money from by producing electrical.
But I think to your point, and like the infancy of internet and social media, that literacy and information literacy part of it, for at least even just determining, what or how, or asking, or just being more critical thinkers about it, is where libraries, libraries' role or programming could fit. Again, not that we know all the answers, or all the right answers when it comes to this, but we know how to ask the questions to get deeper into.
There was a concern expressed about that by the Montana neighborhood group at the conversation, that it's so hard to know if it's hard to vet resources now. It's hard for people. Things look fakey, and they probably are fakey, but everybody's being saturated with just terrible.
But that is part of the literacy though, because like
Yeah.
when I use it, I have to read through it, and then for sure they call it hallucination.
Yeah.
For sure, it does give you sources that are made up.
Fundamentally, they're all just probability engines. So yeah, my
Right.
wife's in banking, and she was using it to try to just screen all the 10Ks
Yeah.
that she's in a very specialized part of that world. And so she said, like, go through the 10Ks and give me all this stuff. When she double checked it, it was making up numbers.
So having, again, that literacy, just
Yeah,
to
it's
know that
literacy.
you're
You have to
not-
know that it's doing
you're-
that. Otherwise,
yeah,
you trust
You
it.
can't take it.
And
for
then there's
everything,
so
right?
many,
Yeah.
like I see like different companies like that, like I know ChatGPT is like the big one, but then there's other variations of
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a wild.
My
So-
favorite is still the Chinese DeepSeek because it's faster and quicker.
It is pretty good.
It's pretty good. The free version's better than the paid GPT.
The free version. Well, I was telling Vanessa earlier that, because of the source, people don't go to this, but the Christian Science Monitor is one of the most even-handed news. It's not loaded with
So
anything.
on the Chinese DeepSeek,
Yeah.
it's actually regulated.
It is
That's one of the
interesting,
reasons.
huh?
Yeah.
It's
But
heavily
people
regulated.
Yes.
have negative feelings about it because of the
I want to know which
organization.
models
Yeah.
I don't have access to.
Yeah.
So, and I think just thank you so much for
Getting off topic.
No, for the reports. I also want to emphasize, because LEAF is one of our, larger programs and services, and it wouldn't be possible without the state library and the funding. But what Vanessa and Susan have described and explained is deeply rooted in the ideas and values around equity. And I think making that connection oftentimes, and particularly when we're talking with other city leaders and what that means, and I was talking with Andrea, one of our coordinators, the one who oversees, the ESL, and she made an excellent point. It's that we can have all of these different programs to help our residents, let's say, even with housing or with, helping in different social services. But if they can't fill out, an application, if they don't know some of those basic skills in reading, they're not going to be able to do that. And so this is the absolute equalizer, and the library does that and embeds that into programs like this. And so just looking at the amount of hours, 1,000 hours that people are dedicating to tutor and to volunteer to help their fellow community members to learn all of this is just, I think that that's where we want to continue to tell these stories, but to elevate it to say, hey, this is what you're talking about when you want to advance equity.
Yeah.
Here are the things that we're already doing, right?
Is the funding tied at all to the IMLS funding being canceled? Is the California Libraries
Well, yeah,
funding
we could
contingent upon-
lose, we could lose a person.
Yes, so the state,
Because of the cut.
right, because the state library, right now, the funding is
for this
such
fiscal year,
that,
we're good.
yes, is such
This year.
that this year
Our
Um,
ESL person.
for literacy is good. And then because other banks of money are shrinking,
Right.
they have to always re-look at it on the state level. But right now, I think we've all, and the state have prioritized literacy specifically to try and preserve it as much as possible.
You never know what you're going to get with volunteers.
Mhm.
It's iffy, but the quality of the volunteers, the adult,
Yeah.
younger, all different ages, they're so dedicated to this, the tech process. There's some people that, like that kind of help where it's a quick turnaround and you're trying to get somebody, they're trying to fill out an application because they just can't figure out how to navigate the DMV website. Well, that's not easy for anybody, actually.
Yeah.
But also, it's so embedded in us as the library, the staff, they don't fight over, but, they want to be there helping with the volunteer process too. They want to connect with the public who are receiving these services. So, it's just heartwarming and amazing. Yeah.
Since I've been back, I think that's been the most rewarding program yet.
This one, Leader.
The Tech and Task.
Oh, Tech and Task
yeah,
specifically.
Yeah.
And I think this goes back to what you're talking about, stories too, and maybe
Yeah.
doing some profile stories
These
of
are-
the Tech and Task type of things, because it's very
Yeah.
relatable, DMV and
Yeah.
parents using the
Security.
phone and stuff.
I
I
don't
was
think
trying
people
to
think that
do
the
the
library does
ID,
this.
and it was really difficult for that person to identify themselves to get a replacement social security card, and unfortunately it didn't work out because their phone couldn't get the notification that that was their phone. So then they had to come back another day and try again. So, but it worked out.
Yeah, no, I
Ultimately.
think what you're saying, Erica, about equity, it really is, it can be presented as social justice advocacy, really, like what's being done here. And I think that resonates with a lot of people in Santa Monica.
Especially now when there's so much fear and uncertainty for everyone. People need an anchor, a safe place, a place where they can get help and not be afraid. So the library serves that purpose. It's great.
Absolutely.
I try to scare a few people every day, but mostly not.
But it's
Mostly
equity, but it's also relatable too. When you
Yeah.
hear DMV, everyone relates to how much they hate using the DMV or getting a new phone and stuff too. It's so relatable.
That's right.
Yeah.
Those stories.
It is.
That's
Yeah.
right.
It
Thank
is.
you so much.
Oh, well,
And wonderful.
thank
you,
Vanessa and Tara and
Yes, the
Andrea
literacy team,
and all of our
super
volunteers.
Yeah, no, thank you so
Excellent.
much for all of this, and, just real quick, I worked with Judith a couple months ago on that Save Fairview Library effort,
Oh, yeah.
and I can just tell you the support in this community was very strong, and in particular this neighborhood. I think it's such a family-oriented neighborhood, and people were just not going to
Erica and I are pretty connected to this branch. Yeah, we grew up here.
Yeah.
We, at different times, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I used to live on Chester Street. I used to come down here with my kids every week pretty much. So, yeah, same. This one's the one near and dear to my heart. So, really appreciate everything that you're doing here. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move on to our first discussion item, which is the conversation with the Pasadena Public Library staff regarding library revenues. And was this something that you were involved with, Daniel, or
Yes, it
Judith,
was.
or both? Okay.
Yeah.
You're on.
So, as we might recall from our last library board meeting, it was suggested that it would be a good thing to investigate whether we could replicate what Pasadena had done from a dedicated funding source to try to get our library staffed back up and all the branches open all the time. And that came from the session we were on, a lot of us attended, where they told their story. So we just had a brainstorming session with them, Erica, Judith, and I, and just to ask some probing questions on how they did it more granularly, how we might do that here, how we might do some coalition building. Fundamentally, it comes down to what we discussed at the last meeting, right? If it's a citizen-led initiative, we only need 50% of the vote to win. Pretty easy with libraries, I think, in my opinion. But we're also aware of some other organizations in the city that are looking at doing something similar for the schools. And now we're trying to, and while this board can't do that, as far as we can't fund polling, we don't have a budget. Other organizations can. And from a citizen-led initiative perspective, the Friends Group is its own independent place where we could all actively support that effort when we get to that. So Judith, I know, was having some conversations through her connections with the school, the SEPS group, and Ted, and what they're looking at possibly trying to attempt to put on the ballot as well. I'll be completely transparent. I'm a little bit ambivalent about that because I just want us to go alone. I like a clean library piece, but SEPS and other organizations have a little bit more muscle memory when it comes to getting things on the ballot and passed.
I mean, it seems like if they're planning something, it's either, we're competing with them or we're joining
Exactly.
with them, right?
No,
So-
exactly. So anyway, we're starting those conversations now. That my sense of urgency and what I was taking away from the conversation with them is there's not a lot of time, right? I mean, a year is a good runway, but that's all we got, right? And that's, in some sense, this should have been something we probably should have done the community outreach and coalition building and understanding the path forward probably at the beginning of this year versus now. But if we are partnering, and if we partner with SEPS and do something where there's a dedicated parcel tax, because they may be looking at a bond thing as well, but if we were looking at a dedicated parcel tax that kind of split between the library and the schools, I think we could be off to the races. So we're just exploring that. The big expense, though, was on the polling to get the questions down. That was one of the things that they shared very explicitly, was that they knew within points how they would perform based on the polling that they did. And I think they did 2 polls, and that cost several tens of thousands of dollars to do each one. I think 15 or thing. I don't have my notes from the conversation, but it's not like we have $30,000 to go do some custom polling, right? We are aware that perhaps the city's going to be doing some polling, so we might be able to just leverage that initiative for our own public purposes. And I don't know if SEPS is going to be doing some of their own polling. I'm guessing they may, if they're going to contemplate doing anything with a bond as well. So anyway, I'm waiting for Judith to reach out to Ted. I haven't reached out to Ted personally myself, but to find out what they're doing on that. But I think we need to, as the discussion item considers, maybe formalizing a working group to get on. I'm confident that whether we're partnering with the school folks or trying to go it alone, I'm confident that we would have no issue getting signatures to qualify for the ballot in Santa Monica. Because frankly, all we have to do is set up outside the library and collect signatures.
Do we have any sense of, a target, like what we would be looking to raise specifically, and what the schools
I don't
really have numbers?
Based on what I understand, they're just trying to replace the deal they had with the city, where the city was paying them for the use of the school district facilities,
Right.
because that sunsets in 27.
Okay.
And I don't remember what that number was. I think it was a couple of million. I'd have to pull that number. I think we're thinking for the library, a couple of million that would keep us fully staffed. And the key component of, at least from speaking for myself, the part that I liked most about the Pasadena model was they tied the funding, the use of the funds, to the city funding its part, right?
Oh, right.
So it was the concept of, if we use their language or something similar to that, where it's like, we only get access to that parcel tax money if the city's funding the library the way, at the level it's supposed to be funding.
Commits to their.
Yeah, commits to the
Yeah.
piece, so that we don't end up with the bait and switch. And it's like, oh, great, now we got this parcel tax thing, we can cut the general fund allocation and,
Is it committing
reallocate.
to the level now or committing to the level previously? Or
No,
committing-
that's what we need to
Figure out
Those are
what
the
their
details we need
language-
to do. For me, it's committing to where we should have been now. 2019 to now, assuming that we recovered fully from the COVID, like most of the other departments and cities and states have already done. And making that the number, the baseline that the city has to fund, and then this parcel tax would fund that portion. And I don't, the Pasadena was like 80-20. I don't know if 80-20 is the right number for Santa Monica or not. We need to get into it. But it really also comes down to what are the steps looking to do?
Right.
Because there is a threshold of pain that if you.
Yeah, well, that's where I was asking, like, what do we have a sense of the size of
I just don't recall what the deal was that they're trying to sunset. I thought it was a couple $1 million per year that they were taking out of the general fund and moving over to the school district.
I'm pretty sure it's over 10 million.
Is it more like
10 million a year?
Oh, really?
Was it 10 a year?
I think it's,
I thought it was 2 million a year for 5 years. Is it more than that?
I might be wrong then. but
And
I
it's
thought-
all just to get it back to where the numbers were 2019?
For the school district or for us?
Yeah, for both. And yeah, because even when you think about that, that's going to be like 6 years, increased costs and inflation, and we're still going back. That's the baseline that we're looking for, is at least
Well,
6 years ago number.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I think that's the negotiating we need to do now.
Yeah,
Because I don't know, I haven't looked at the calendar, but I think you have to have your signatures in like 6 months before the election to be certified and whatever by the city clerk to make sure that everything's in the ballot language is all gotten reviewed. And so the process from we've got language and signatures to qualify for the ballot as citizen initiative, it's a slam dunk as long as we meet those deadlines, right? Because regardless of, like I said, whether it was us alone and they decide not to do something, or us with the school folks, 50% plus one is an easy hurdle in Santa Monica for the schools and the libraries. If you just said we're having parcel tax and it's going to be an extra whatever percentage per thing, but it's going to restore funding for schools and restore funding for our libraries, I'm really confident we could beat the 50% threshold. If it had to be the city council putting it on the ballot because we didn't meet those deadlines, then 2/3 might be a stretch.
more difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, based on our last conversation, it seems like we are interested in creating an ad hoc committee to explore this. So I believe we need to have do we need to vote on that, or we need to?
Sure. So the board can motion to establish an ad hoc committee for a specific purpose, and then the chair can appoint members on her own. So based off of the agenda language, the board can consider creating a library revenues ad hoc committee to study potential new revenue sources for the Santa Monica Public Library.
I so moved what you just said.
Second?
Okay. So
Now, as far as the two board members, you've expressed an interest,
Yes.
Daniel?
Yes. I'm more
Thank
willing
you.
to serve on that subcommittee.
Wonderful, wonderful. I believe that Judith is, she's not here. Anyone else? We can only have two, right?
that's correct.
So this is my only question. If we, does anyone have any knowledge of whether Judith was intending on, she was, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Judith shall be our-
Unless she
Okay.
declines, I think she's.
Yeah, and that's my understanding as well. Okay, then I will
Based on
appoint
last meeting, too.
Daniel and Judith to serve on this ad hoc committee for the purpose of discussing library revenues, which I also like because that's a pretty broad mandate. It may go beyond, this particular, maybe other ideas as well. So, Wonderful. Thank you.
And to formalize the ad hoc committee, we will take a roll call vote on the motion moved by Member Cody and seconded by Member Spears to create the Library Revenues Ad Hoc Committee. And we will start with a roll call vote with Chair Newman,
Yes.
Vice Chair Lynn,
Yes.
Member Cody,
Yes.
and Member Spears.
Yes.
Okay. The item passes 4-0, and Chair Newman appointed committee members Cody and Meister to the ad hoc committee.
Excellent. Okay, then the next discussion item is our community mapping update. And the report is the report that the secretary gave? Or are we talking about the?
Yeah. That is the update. Yeah, I think there was just some actions for board members to decide whether or not wanted to be more engaged with.
And the engagement is just to reach out to them and to get them to see if they want to join the focus group, right?
Yes, and
Also
even-
bring it up to them in their meetings, and also get their membership to do the survey or attend the focus group or the community mapping events that are already scheduled, right?
Yes, and I think the other idea presented was to either co-facilitate or partner up to do the actual focus group.
Yeah.
As kind of represented with the board, and then partnering, it would be with me and probably another admin staff to do that.
Okay. We would like to go ahead and create that committee as well. Jason, are you interested in?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I'll do that.
Other interests? I'm happy to be part of that as well.
Can that only be two?
I think for the subcommittee, yeah, right? Because otherwise it becomes a formal board thing or something like that.
If the board wants to create an ad hoc committee to focus on this, then there's a limit of 2.
Yeah.
Outside of the ad hoc committee, you all individually and
Can
in
reach out.
pairs can engage on community mapping or anything library related. You just cannot work in 3 or
Threes,
more
yeah.
ever regarding any official business relating to the library board. So if
Because
you all
then it
go
becomes a
out,
meeting, right?
right, it would be called a serial meeting. But
Just
otherwise,
insight, I've already reached out to Wilmot, I've reached out to NOMA,
Oh, great.
Yeah.
pushing
no, that would be-
engagement. NOMA had it on their website. Wilmot was circulating the survey for us to members. I'm going to present to Wilmot because I'm a member more about the community mapping at their September meeting, because for August they were doing the police night out thing.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think that what this also will do as part of the update, even for next time, is
Cool.
how
All the different
board
neighborhood-
members have reached out and that. So yeah, so I think.
Okay, great. And I mean, the final meetings are at the end of September, right? That's our time frame to encourage people to,
The
if they want to be
final
part of the public
Community
meetings.
conversation, yes, yes. But we can also, me and members of the ad hoc can plan one that is in between that is more of a focus group as well. So that would be what ad hoc members could.
Okay, so our committee will consist of Jason
And you.
and me.
You get to
With
appoint yourself.
additional, separate attendance at meetings. Okay, got it.
And we still have everyone that we had assigned previously to the neighborhood groups reaching out to their assigned neighborhood groups. It's
Yeah,
just
that's
that
it,
we're
that's
going
it.
to be facilitating a focus group
On
and
this
also
particular-
making sure that we get the feedback back to everyone. That's
Sounds
it,
right.
right? Yeah.
Sounds right. Okay.
and to formalize the creation of the ad hoc committee, we'll entertain a motion and a second to create the community mapping ad hoc committee to prepare recommendations for the Santa Monica Public Library's community mapping initiative.
So moved.
And a
I
second.
will second that.
Okay. A quick roll call vote. Chair Newman,
Yes.
Vice Chair Lynn,
Yes.
Member Cody,
Yes.
and Member Spears.
Yes.
Okay. Motion carries 4-0.
Okay, I think that brings us to the end of our meeting.
I have one more item.
Oh,
That's it. Just an update. So we discussed the the Dolly Parton Imagination Library thing at our last meeting as well. I had a meeting with, follow-up meeting with Nisha, the director. And the short update is she's excited about the participation of Friends and the library board and the Santa Monica Library. They are still looking for lead 501c3 partners. I don't, based on my own understanding of the board dynamics with the Friends and the capacity to do things with Friends currently, I don't think Santa Monica Friends could be the lead 501c3 org for the West Side piece that they're looking to find a partner for, but I think we could support that. And they're going to have next month a community meeting of all the different areas. So they've basically broken up LA County into like 5 sections, and they're trying to make sure they've got a lead partner in each of the sections. I was disappointed to hear that the county supervisors weren't very supportive of like the county-wide thing, and because their program is county-based, and because of how large LA County is, it's been difficult to try to get LA County off the ground, even though the biggest need is LA County in the state of California.
Why would they need a 501c3 lead?
So the Dolly Parton Foundation funds 50% of it, and then they are looking for local community groups to fund the other 50%. And they also already have grants from the California Library Association, and they've got grants from the state, and they've got grants from a bunch of other places to fund this. And it's ages 0 to 5. It goes to our literacy piece, right? It's helping kids start their own library and parents reading with their kids, and I think it's fabulous, and it fits in with everything that we do, and it's in our core mission, and I want to see it happen. But the enormity of the challenge for LA County has been an issue. So I was going to help her with some introductions to some groups like California Community Corporation and some other places. But I did share that we presented it to the Friends. I wasn't able to go, but I shared the information with the Friends board that I had received from the meeting we had done. I've shared it with this board, and I expressed our continued interest in supporting that effort as sort of the West Side. And the West Side, their way they carved it up, it basically runs from like Palos Verdes to Malibu, right? It's the whole coast.
I mean, I think the Friends eventually can do something. It might need more of you helping.
Yeah.
When it comes to that aspect.
Okay. I did want to commit for the Friends because I haven't been able to attend the Friends board meeting to have that dialogue. But I took.
But I think that would be something good. The Friends could work for
absolutely.
the building, but I think they just need a little bit of help.
Okay.
In that aspect. But I think it would be.
And there's a
great.
Friends. Is there a Friends board meeting next week?
Next Wednesday at 6 p.m. 7 p.m.
All right.
well, great. Yeah, I mean,
So I just wanted to share
it's
that.
a wonderful opportunity. It really is, and especially if LA is kind of too amorphous and large. Perhaps Santa Monica could be that sweet spot that.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting, and the dialogue was they just need that snowball to start moving because they've got partners that are all waiting for other partners to commit, and so it's that chicken and egg thing. It's like, okay, everybody wants to see it happen, but LA's so big nobody can take the whole thing on, and so you need like five lead organizations to commit, and then there's the initial like 2-year commitment of startup funding. We would be fabulous at the administrative piece, like getting kids signed up and families logistics. We would be brilliant at that, whether it's the Friends or the city or whatever, I think. But it's the committing to the funding part. So if you know any billionaires, let me know. we can get that startup funding.
We know plenty, but I don't believe they're very altruistic right now.
We're going to build him one.
hang out north of Montana a little bit more.
Mackenzie Bezos, she's an author.
Yeah.
She likes to give money.
Gigi Pritzker, who's a producer here,
The
and,
Gores.
and focuses on children's content. Like,
Does she live here?
no, she's in Brooklyn.
Brentwood. Oh, I mean,
That's close. I mean, that's Santa Monica adjacent. I claim it. I claim all the billionaires if they'll give me their money for good things. Okay, sorry. Apologize. But
No, thank you. That sounds promising, and hopefully you can attend Friends and see what can be done.
I'm putting it on the calendar.
That'd be great.
This is the first month in a long time I'm actually in town. So.
That'd be great. Okay. Anybody else? Any final words, thoughts? I think we are ready to adjourn at 7:36. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
That's official.
You're right.
Fun part.